to whatever holidays you guys celebrate out there. Merry Christmas. Take some time to enjoy the remaining football we have left as it is week 16, which means it's finally here. Championship week, the most coveted week in all of fantasy football. Week 16 is crucial in many leagues across all of fantasy football, and that's why we're here to break it down.
Shout
We
out,
also
Matt.
have yeah, we have one member here of the podcast who is currently in the championship in our own league. So if you're going to take anyone's advice tonight, I guess you should take Matt's because he is in the championship. Congratulations, Matt. Good luck this week.
Thank you, fellas.
And again, this week we're going to keep it right to the point, previewing every matchup, breaking down the most important players in each game. We'll wrap it up with a nice holiday segment and answer any questions you guys drop in the chat.
Isn't it
Oh.
crazy that we've had now two basketball seasons within this one season of the podcast? Well, like the second one is starting now, and we
Yeah.
started right when the other one. That was weird, but
Yeah, that is weird. That's so
one
weird.
football season for two basketball seasons.
That's what we call consistency.
Yes, our 31st episode. Last episode was our 30th. We forgot to mention it. I think next episode will be Matt's 30th episode. So
I was a late bloomer.
a late bloomer, only a couple episodes late, but been here since and grinding. All right, let's get into the game previews and rankings. T guys, do we have the pick standings at the moment?
We do. We do.
All right.
It's not
Come
a
on, give me a
three-way
nice-
tie for last anymore.
I'm probably dead
Uh-oh.
last if I had to guess.
Give me a
'cause I went
Christmas
wild
surprise.
last
Okay.
week. I
Okay,
think you
okay,
might be
okay.
second.
Last week, Matt was in the lead by a
Hmm?
lot.
Oh,
I had a bad week, man. I know it.
Oh, you're still in the lead.
By a lot. You were 6 picks up. There's
Yeah.
no way you lost.
Well,
the
yeah.
lead.
You're only
That
up
doesn't
4
mean I-
now. You're only up 4.
All right. I thought it was gonna be like
I think
3.
if I had to
so.
guess, T got second, Q third. I'm last.
Q had a
Q's
huge big
second.
week. 11 games right.
let's go!
And then me and Sean, I'm in third. Sean, I'm sorry, you're in last. You got 140. I got 142. Who has 140?
Yeah, I went absolutely bonkers last week picking any games, and I'm gonna do it again this week because I
It
have nothing
paid
to
off for
lose.
T Gods.
I went from
Did-
second. I was in second. I had a bad week, and then I was tied with all you guys. I was like, screw it. We're just going off the rails, and we're gonna go off the rails again this week. So get ready for some upsets because I need them.
This would be a good episode for cap or no cap, just because we're all wearing some sort of hat today. But
Well, we don't have any cap or no cap to break down, but what we do have is Christmas Day football. Vikings at the Saints. So let's start with the Vikings. Are you worried about Dalvin Cook against the number 1 rush defense or the Saints defense in general on Christmas?
Are you Matt?
No. Dalvin Cook's gonna get that workload. I could see him having 30 carries this game, so I'm actually looking forward to it. Bring
Last-
on the Saints.
last time he had apparently a tough run D facing him, which was Tampa Bay. He went off for over 100 yards and a touchdown. So I don't think this is any different. I think there are some holes in this defense. I don't really know what they did last week. Or no, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, he played against them. Le'Veon
He
Bell
got
was pretty good
injured.
against them. So it's Dalvin Cook's way over Le'Veon Bell and Miles Sanders the week prior. So I think he'll be fine.
Yeah, I agree. I'm with you guys. Dalvin Cook's going to be fine. And the Saints' run defense has kind of collapsed a little bit the past couple weeks. The Eagles ran all over them with Hurts and Sanders. So
Yep.
Saints look like they're trending downward, and Dalvin Cook is always trending upward.
Mhm.
But for the Saints, are you starting any Saints this week outside of Alvin Kamara in the championship?
When I was doing my notes, I'm like, why didn't you add Michael Thomas? But I forgot he went on IR. But no, I don't think you're starting anybody else. Maybe Drew
Yeah.
Brees.
Nah.
At this point, you probably have a quarterback you've been rocking with. You know, if you're in the championship. I mean, unless you were rocking with Big Ben in the last couple of weeks, he's been inconsistent with the Steelers. Maybe I'd consider Drew Brees as an option. But I think there'd still be better quarterbacks on
Yeah.
waivers. We'll talk about
Yeah.
later, too.
Makes
So-
me a little nervous his first game back coming off of rib injury.
He played last week, too, I think. He had
Oh,
like
yeah.
25, I think. So he was actually pretty decent.
You're right.
But I still don't know if I would fully invest my championship in Drew Brees.
Yeah, I don't have him even ranked in my top 15 this
Especially
week.
with no Michael Thomas. That's just like
Yeah.
losing your key guy there. I mean, he's just going to feed Kamara out of the backfield, but that can only go so far. You got to push it down the field.
Agreed. All right, let's pick this one. Who you guys got? The Vikings at the Saints.
Oof, this
I
is
got the
tough.
Saints.
Yeah, I think I'm going Saints.
Should I really try and get a perfect week, or should I try and pick some upsets? Like,
They could still equal a perfect week.
yeah, I need a perfect week, so I can't go too crazy off the rails and pick every underdog. I'm taking the Saints. Saints need a win. They lost to the Eagles, they lost to the Chiefs, and the Vikings' playoff hopes were kind of crushed last week by the Bears. So I'm going the Saints.
Bring out the broom.
The broom.
Oh my god, I thought you were gonna say Vikings.
The coveted broom.
All right. The next game we have here, the Bucks at the Lions. This game is at Saturday at 1 p.m. There will be 3 Saturday games this upcoming week, so it should be an interesting weekend of football. Starting with the Bucks, Ronald Jones is most likely going to be out again this week. So are you plugging Leonard Fournette into must-start territory after 20 points this week?
It's so weird.
Go ahead.
It's weird putting must start next to Fournette after the season that he's had, but like 30-second run D in the Lions, and you're feeling good because Keyshawn Vaughn wasn't really involved. So it's all Leonard Fournette. I think if you have him and you don't have a better option at running back, like Matt, he has Fournette, but he has better running back options, so he's not going to start him. But he's definitely a top 20 play for me this week.
Yeah, for sure. Especially with the 2 touchdowns last week. And he was involved in the passing game as well, catching 3 passes out of the backfield. So I see a decent workload for Leonard Fournette. So I wouldn't shy away from starting him.
Yeah, and they were down 17-0, so and he was involved
Yeah.
in the comeback, so that's good to see.
Yeah, they actually had Shady involved for a little bit there. He had 3 catches for 32 yards, but he didn't take away any carries. And the king of cap strikes again, Bruce Arians, mentioned earlier in the week, saying Keyshawn Vaughn was going to be involved, and then Keyshawn Vaughn does absolutely nothing. Fournette pretty much had it all wrapped up to himself.
I'd hate to have a conversation with Bruce
He's
Arians.
just going to lie to you.
Bruce Arians is the king of cap. Remember that heading into next season. Let's not forget that. But anyways, I agree. Starting Fournette at this point, I think the matchup is juicy. So if he was out there on waivers, I think he's a good option to plug in. For the Lions, if you survived your week last week despite TJ Hawkinson's dud, where he had 2 catches, 18 yards, and a fumble for 1 point, are you starting him again this week against the Bucks?
I
Yeah.
hate all tight ends.
They're going to have to play from behind. So
Yeah, I have him ranked 3rd. Tampa Bay has given up at least 80%, like a target completion to tight ends, which is most in the league. So, I mean, outside of Marvin Jones, who else is getting the ball?
that's very true.
And
I can't see them running the ball that much because, like I said, I see the Bucks going up and the Lions being forced to throw.
Yeah, and their run D is good, but it's inconsistent. So if it comes up this week, then yeah, they'll be throwing the ball.
Yeah, I'm going Hawkinson. I still think you got to roll with him. Plus,
Yeah,
Yeah, he hasn't.
as we know, tight ends suck. The depth is just bad.
it's horrible.
it's bad when Logan Thomas is ranked 4th for me this week.
Wow.
He's a top 5 tight end on the season now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and I feel like it's just taking him like 4 games to get there, but
Exactly.
we'll probably get to him eventually.
Yeah, I was looking at all the tight end stats right now. It's with Matt before the show. It's brutal.
It was
brutal
god awful.
out there.
Drop off from like the top 2 was ridiculous.
Yeah.
Even the drop off from
Yeah,
one
from top 1.
was unreal.
Kelsey to Waller's like 50 points, and then Kelsey to Tunyon, who is 3rd, is over 100 points, which is unreal.
Ridiculous.
And like the top 10 tight ends at the bottom down there are just awful. Like Jonnu Smith's top 10 tight end. He had like more than half of his points in his first 4 games. But anyways, let's pick this one. Bucks at the Lions. Who you got?
Let's get the broom out again.
Yeah, we might as well.
Yeah, I'm taking Tampa Bay. I'm not getting too cute. The Lions are not winning this game. Sorry, Detroit fans. Another rough year.
Sorry, T Grizzly.
All right, 49ers at the Cardinals, the afternoon Saturday game. One thing to talk about for the 49ers before we get into anything, Brandon Ayuk is must start this week, no matter who is at quarterback. That dude is a beast. I think he has 20-plus points in 4 straight games.
You
gotta
know, who
keep
might be a
rolling out.
quarterback.
I was wrong about him last week. I'll admit it.
Even if CJ Beathard's at quarterback.
No,
I think
it might be Josh Rosen. They signed him today.
No,
even
it's
if it's
definitely
Josh Rosen,
Josh Rosen is
Ayuk's
going to
getting
be
the ball.
Beathard's backup, just so they didn't have to start a skill player like Jerick McKinnon or someone.
Yeah, exactly. But aside from Brandon Ayuk, with Mostert now on IR, is it Jeff Wilson, Tevin Coleman, or Jerick McKinnon who will have the biggest role for this game?
Flip
I
a
have
coin.
I have Wilson ranked highest at 22. I think he is the best bet because we've seen him in the last couple weeks. He's put up points compared to the other two.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they've been using him in the red zone. So
Wish it was Tevin though.
I would roll with Jeff Wilson if you're feeling
I think-
super frisky for the championship. Jerick McKinnon.
If you're feeling friskier, George Kittle.
Oh yeah, George Kittle. If George
Came
Kittle
back.
ends up rolling out there this week,
That's scary.
that's
It is
that's
scary.
bold. But if your tight end has been brutal, I wouldn't be against it. Like,
Yeah, if he plays this week, I have him ranked 6th.
Kittle is still George Kittle. That dude is a different breed.
Yep, he's a monster.
All right, for the Cardinals, stinky Kenyon Drake came back this past week with a 5-point dud. Can you trust him this week against the top 6 Niners run defense?
Yeah, I was just about to say that they're number 6. They're better than the Eagles at run D, and he didn't do much against the Eagles, so I don't expect any better this week.
Yeah, I mean, I would move him up a little bit if Chase Edmonds ends up sitting out, but even then, I'd have him in like flex territory. I'm not really comfortable starting him, but the workload's going to be there with no backup to him. So I mean, worth a shot.
Yeah, Evans was actually pretty solid last week. He had 14 points himself,
Exactly.
and he out-carried Kenyon Drake. He had 11 carries. Drake had 10. So Drake was just super inefficient. So I'd be very nervous about starting him, but you may not have a better option. You may just have to roll him out there and hope he falls face first into the end zone.
Yeah, I was speaking down on
Honestly.
him, but I do have him ranked top 20, number 16, due to the fact that he might be the best available out of some of these running backs.
And the Niners
Yeah.
defense might be on the field a lot. Their offense might be ugly with Beathard or whatever.
Yeah.
Although Ayuk still must start. I don't care. All right, let's pick this one. 49ers at the Cards. Who you got?
Cards.
Gotta go Cards.
Bringing up the
Cardinals.
broom again.
I want to get cute, but I'm going to go Cardinals. I just got
Get the broom.
I don't think it's possible for me to catch Matt. I just want to get the best week I can at this point. I don't care. I'm playing for second.
We'll get it together, Sean.
I need a big week outside of Q&T gods. All right, Dolphins at the Raiders. Saturday night game. The Dolphins' backfield has been a mixed bag, but Myles Gaskin is most likely coming back this week. Is he the safest to
news.
roll with?
For sure.
I don't know how safe any of them are going to be. You don't know if he's going to be limited. I have him ranked 19th this week, so if he's playing, he's probably going to have a solid game. The Raiders' defense has been going to the just bad. It's been bad.
It's been
They're
bad.
awful.
Keep it
Yeah.
simple.
Yeah, Raiders' run defense is not very good. Their defense as a whole is really bad. So I would feel fine starting Gaskin. And if you were somehow starting Ahmed last week, he gave you a lot of points. I wouldn't be against it. I think he's going to be involved too a little bit. For the Raiders, though, it's Darren Waller, it's Josh Jacobs. That's pretty
Derek-
much it.
Derek
Derek
Carr might be coming back.
Derek Carr was a full participant, so if you're looking for a plug-and-play quarterback, maybe, but again,
This
probably
is chip.
not in the
You're not
championship
plugging and
week.
playing
Yeah,
anything.
yeah. I'm not
Yeah.
starting Derek Carr in the chip.
Derek
I'm
Carr's too
sorry.
risky.
Because I was gonna say, even when Mariota came in, that offense really didn't like skip a beat.
Mariota looked
I
good,
think Mariota
Did.
looked real good.
but it's one game against the Chargers defense, which we know stinks. So
Right.
very small sample size, but I would like to see Mariota start somewhere again. But yeah, it's pretty much Darren Waller, Josh Jacobs show. Don't get cute with the Raiders. I wouldn't, not Aguilar either, Q.
Yeah. Thank God you said it before he could.
I thought about it before. I was like, he looked like he could be a guy. Like he was targeted a lot in that game, but he just didn't put up. It just looked like he did it a lot, but he really didn't do much.
He just kept drawing PIs. He didn't actually catch any passes. I think he had like 4 catches for like 8 fantasy points or something.
Yeah.
We should get points for that. 1
I was
point
about to say that.
per PI.
Point per PI leagues.
Yeah.
Think
That's
about
bad.
it. All right, let's pick this game. Who you guys got? This one's interesting.
Dolphins.
Taking the Dolphins.
I'm
Yeah.
taking the Raiders.
I'm taking the Dolphins. That defense is just too good.
I gotta switch it up. contradicting
Dang.
myself left
Let
and
it
right
be
on
on a
this
more-
podcast.
You should
This
have
one's
switched.
closer though, so
Sean just digging himself in a deeper hole.
honestly, what do I have to lose? I went
I've-
from second to fourth.
I
I
feel
went from
you.
first to fourth. I was first in 1 point. But all right. Giants at the Ravens. Have we reached avoid all Giants territory?
Yes.
Deadly.
Big time.
Only one
Yes.
Giant last week had double digits, and that was Darius Slayton with 11 points.
And you're
So,
not doing that.
And
You're
I
not
ain't
trusting
trusting
that.
him.
Yeah.
Nope.
Not against Marlon Humphrey in that secondary.
Yeah, for a couple weeks there, it looked like it was avoid all Giants except Wayne Gallman. But Wayne Gallman has even
He's
started to
Kind
struggle.
of fell off.
9 and 2
Daniel
in the
Jones
last 2
play
weeks.
Yeah, he's got
Mhm.
11 fantasy points combined the last 2 weeks. Only 9
Jesus.
carries last week. So
back to the Wayne Gallman we know.
yeah, the volume has disappeared. This team is really struggling without Daniel Jones at the helm. So I'm avoiding all Giants, especially at Baltimore this week. I haven't looked at the weather forecast, but it's going to definitely be cold. It's going to be a scrappy game, and the
Yeah.
Ravens defense is good. So do not start any Giants for the championship. If you were relying on any, I don't know how you're in the championship, but you're there. At most, I would go Evan Ingram. Even that is super risky.
Yeah.
But for the Ravens, are the Ravens fully back to what we saw last year at this point?
I
We
think they
have
scored like
M-
40 points in the last 3 games.
MVP level Lamar, top 5 tight end Mark Andrews again, Hollywood Brown, a solid flex option again,
Mhm.
and now J.K. Dobbins is looking like a solid RB2, similar to Mark Ingram. I think we're back to the Ravens being good.
I
in terms
think
for
that
fantasy.
I think that Sam had a really good point because I believe he said something about like the Ravens waited until like this time of year to bring out all the plays that nobody's seen all year and they can't really game plan for it. And I think that's kind of true because they've been running all over teams lately. And they couldn't do that earlier in the season.
Yeah, and Lamar hasn't had to throw as much. They've kind of taken the pressure off of him. The run game's been good, and the defense has been good. So Lamar has had his fewest passing attempts in the last 3 games, pretty much all season.
Yeah.
But he's still putting up insane numbers. He's running the ball super well, and he's scoring a lot of touchdowns. So Lamar's looking good. The Ravens are looking good. I think all of them are definitely in that startable territory that we mentioned. J.K. Dobbins, even Hollywood Brown is a decent flex.
I don't know
option.
about like Hollywood Brown. I think he's just
Yeah,
trying
that's
to,
cutting it close.
Hollywood's trying to excite us for next year's draft just to.
I still think he's a decent option. His targets have gone up. He's had at least 13 points in his last 4 weeks.
I mean, maybe if Sam's correct, then Hollywood's real. They just wait at the end of the season for him to do something. But I don't know.
He's tough to trust. Don't get me wrong, but like, if you need somebody that could give you that spark, that's been giving you that spark the past few weeks, Hollywood is definitely interesting.
Right. Like say you had MT who just recently went on IR and you have Hollywood on your bench. I wouldn't feel too bad plugging them in.
Yeah, exactly. 20, 14, 13, 15 his last 4 games. So it's been solid. He has 3 touchdowns in those games. Lamar and him are finally back on the same page a little bit. He's definitely the riskiest out of all of them, though. But anyways, let's pick this game. Giants at the Ravens. You guys got
Broom, broom, broom.
Broom. I'm taking the Ravens.
Broom, broom, broom. Get out me car.
Uh,
All right. Falcons at the Chiefs.
Chiefs.
For the Falcons, if Julio plays, is he must start, or could we see a Keenan Allen situation as we saw last week?
Who's sitting in the
And I don't think
Yeah.
Not
I don't
me.
think I don't think
I'm
Julio's
not.
had this like the Keenan situation where he just like barely like he was limited. I feel like when Julio plays, he plays the game.
I think one game earlier this season he was a little bit limited.
And
But I'm with you guys. I'm definitely starting Julio Jones.
They're gonna have
very
to
tough
throw
bench him.
Chiefs. So I mean, him and Ridley should have a field day.
Ridley. Let's not forget about the fact that Calvin Ridley liked one of our Instagram pictures last night without being tagged. So he's lurking. He's a fan.
He's a
Calvin
real
Ridley's in the chat right now. What's up?
Thank
That'd be
Cried.
crazy.
Yeah, that would be nuts. I doubt he's there. But anyways, Calvin Ridley has been solid. You're obviously starting him. But if Julio does miss this game, Russell Gage, a top 30 option?
for
Mm.
sure.
He did pretty
I'd
good
say
last
so.
week.
He's been
He's
good
been-
the last 4 weeks, I'm
Yeah,
pretty sure.
I was gonna say
Even with Julio on
he's
the
been
field, pretty
producing.
involved. But Russell Gage is a solid third wide receiver for this Falcons team. If they could be more consistent, be huge.
Regardless, you're not starting Matt Ryan.
Yeah, no
Even
way.
after a good game last week, he
He's
has
playing
like
the
average.
Chiefs.
He's like 10 points or less, or he's averaging 10 points or less in however many games.
He's gonna have to throw, but I don't trust him. I don't trust him at all. I would not start Matt Ryan.
Me either.
For the Chiefs, it's Mahomes, it's Tyreek, it's Kelsey. They are locked in, but we have an interesting situation. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is most likely going to be out. So can you start Le'Veon if you're looking for a running back to plug in? Falcons' run
would.
defense has low-key been pretty solid. Their pass defense is brutal, but they're top 10 in run defense.
The only thing that scares me is that even if the Chiefs go up, they're not going to really run the ball all
Yeah.
that much. So, I mean, you got to hope he gets involved, pass catching out of the backfield, and falls face first into the end zone.
And Mahomes barely checks down the ball. I feel like he just looks 20 yards down. Like that's his check down.
If it's
Yeah.
not there, he just throws it away.
Le'Veon was pretty involved last week, though. 15 carries, 62 yards, found the end zone, fell face first in the end zone like he asked. One catch for 14 yards. So I wouldn't be against it. I think he's probably more of like a flex option than a solid
Yeah.
RB2 this week.
I saw a TikTok and it was like, it felt like 2015 on Sunday with Frank Gore, Le'Veon, Antonio Brown, and Dez and
Larry
Larry
Fitz.
Fitzgerald all scoring a touchdown.
I missed Dez. I'm so happy he scored.
Yeah, that was dope.
And that, just going back to that, the previous game, like Dez could be an option too for helping Lamar out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. As long as Jerry Jones doesn't have a bounty on him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
COVID bounty.
Conspiracy theory, Dez was taken out of that game by Jerry. That's a fact.
It's not a conspiracy theory.
All right. Let's pick this one. Falcons at the Chiefs.
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 Even if the
Chiefs.
Falcons are winning with like 3 minutes left in the fourth quarter, they'll lose.
Chiefs are playing to lock up that number 1 seed. They're going to win. For the Browns at the Jets, are Kareem Hunt, Nick Chubb, and Jarvis Landry all must start against the Jets this week, with Higgins as an option as well.
Yes.
The first 3, yeah. Higgins is kind of like
He's a risky
iffy.
flex.
Yeah, risky, but the reward could be there. But I'm not going high risk, high reward in
Yeah.
the chip.
Some of these players are just like Higgins. You probably didn't get to the chip with Higgins. You probably have a guy way better than Higgins in your flex. I doubt you're starting him as one of your 2 wide receivers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
I
in a
agree.
deeper league.
The other
But,
3 consider.
Yeah, I think Hunt and Chubb, they should obviously have a really
Yeah,
good,
for sure.
good day against this Jets team. I think the Browns are going to get up big. Jets won last week. They're on their high horse. There's no way they win 2 games in a row. That team is awful.
And
But
the Browns are now fighting for a spot to win the AFC. What is it, North? Because
Yeah.
the Steelers
Yeah,
are going
Steelers
downhill.
are folding like a
Fluky.
lawn chair.
if the Steelers lose to the Colts, which we will get into in a little bit, Browns have a really good shot at that number, the division. Anyways, Jarvis Landry, I also think he's must start. Since week 12, he is a top 10 fantasy wide receiver. Landry is back after those weird weather games. With OBJ out of the lineup, Baker's just targeting him crazy. And Higgins as well has been pretty solid. Last 3 games, I think he's had at least like 15 points or something. At least double digits for sure. So Baker's been good. The Browns have been good. They get the Jets. I think they're all viable.
Yeah, it'll be a
options.
I think it's gonna be a blowout.
Yeah.
For the Jets, don't start any Jets. I don't care what
Nope.
Ty Johnson did last week. I don't
Don't
care
do
that
it.
Frank Gore scored a touchdown. It's the championship. Do not get cute. Don't start any Jets.
That's not even
Please
damn
don't.
cute. That's just ugly.
That's just. Ugh. You're
people
trying to
might be thinking
be
about
a
Ty Johnson for
supermodel
some
at that
reason.
point.
That
But
sounds like collusion if you're starting one of them.
Yeah, it does.
it might be collusion. You're right. That'd be weird. All right, let's
Watch
pick
out
this
for
one up.
anybody starting a jet in your league.
Pick this one too. I'm taking the Browns.
Get the
Browns.
broom.
Get the broom.
Have
You
we
got
all-
your green. Take the Jets.
Wait, I'm taking the Jets.
Who's
no.
Yo,
Keep
I should have
going.
taken last week. I went crazy, but I didn't go crazy enough. I should have taken the Jets and the Bengals. Like, well, why did they both win?
Yeah, that's crazy.
2020.
Anyways, Bears at the Jaguars. David Montgomery continues to feast for the
Spit
Bears.
and forget it.
We've been saying it for weeks. His schedule is light work, and now he gets the Jaguars. 4 straight games of 25 points. Does he get his 5th this week?
Yes.
Yes.
He gets 30.
I said
Yeah.
he's the chip winner. Well, when we did that segment, I said he's the chip winner.
So smart.
Yeah, I said it a couple weeks even before that. Like, yo, his schedule He's the guy you should be targeting in trades.
Going smarter.
Oh, whoa.
We're on the same train here. We're working for the same team.
Triathlon.
Super Fantasy Bros podcast. We work together here. David Montgomery, we've been calling it for weeks, and he is providing you with fantasy goodness. He's going to be on a lot of championship teams. Start him again, plug him in. He should carry you to that juicy victory.
Mm-hmm.
But for the
promised
Jaguars,
land.
yeah, exactly.
Mitch might be a viable option too. I have him ranked 11th this week.
Don't start Mitch.
Yeah, I would not start Mitch in the
start
championship.
Mitch.
Look, I like Mitch, and he has actually been playing a lot better. But 2 of the last 4 games, 15 points or less. He does get the juicy Jags, but he had
Juicy
14
Jags.
against the
Juicy
juicy
Jags.
Lions. So I don't know. Mitch still scares me. I think Montgomery might be scoring the touchdowns and stealing the thunder. But anyways, for the Jaguars, aside from James Robinson, who has been solid, it seems like
It wasn't last week.
He had 13 last week, I think.
I think he got a little banged up.
And yeah,
though.
he got hurt, and he was already coming into the week hurt, so that's something.
And he's coming into this week hurt too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, they said he's going to rest practice this week, but he's excited to get back out there. Marone wants him to play. He wants to play. So
Well, if he's out,
Robinson's playing. He's
are you
playing
starting
for,
Agumba Wale if he's out?
No.
Stop
You
it.
don't think he'll?
At
Put
that
up-
point, I'm not starting any Jaguar.
Yeah, against the Bears defense, I would avoid anyone. But James Robinson, if he plays, I still think I would roll out with him.
That volume is going to be ridiculous.
You've rode him this long as a waiver wire pickup. Ride him again in the championship. But don't start any other Jags. They suck.
Yeah.
They don't even know who's starting a quarterback this week, so it's going to be bad.
That's a shame.
Let's pick this one. Bears at the Jags. I am taking
Bears.
The Bears.
Go ahead, Sean. Do it.
You can't tell everybody to not start any Jags.
I know the Jags suck so bad, but I could see it up. But the Bears are still fighting for the playoff spot, man. And I think they'll win. I'm taking the Bears. The
that
Bears,
defense is going to be locked down.
yeah, I'm taking the Bears. They're going to try and be 8-7, I'm pretty sure. So
Then
They
Nick
should be
Foles,
good.
when they make the playoffs, I bet they bring Nick Foles back.
I bet you they win the Super Bowl.
that
would be insane.
Nuts.
Do you think they'll
Yeah.
build a statue for him?
No.
They have
You
to
can't-
everywhere he wins a chip.
All right. Today's sponsor is the Thrive Fantasy app for iOS and Android. As always, Thrive Fantasy app is a sports app for player props, game props, and daily fantasy sports. NBA season is starting up. The NFL season is still rolling strong as we head towards the NFL playoffs. So download the Thrive Fantasy app today. Use our promo code SUPERFB. That is SUPERFB. And you will get your deposit matched up to $50. And I believe they bumped that up for NBA up to $500 this week.
Whoa.
So there's a big bonus on the line here. If you're looking to deposit some money, you can get that money matched. Download the Thrive Fantasy app. Go check out this up and coming app. Use our promo code SUPERFB.
That could be a big come up on the first week of basketball coming
Right.
back.
Yep. There's some interesting props out there. So at least download the app, check it out. And if you feel like you're going to try and win some money, definitely use that code SUPERFB. All right. Let's get into the rest of the games. Bengals at the Texans. Are you nervous at all about Tyler Boyd and T. Higgins if Ryan Finley has to play quarterback again this week?
Very much.
Yes.
Boyd couldn't get 1 point.
Well, Boyd got hurt. He had a
Oh.
concussion. He left in the first quarter, I think. So that sucked for Tyler Boyd. He was pissed. I think he slammed his helmet down. Poor. Bad for him. But T.
Is
Higgins
that what
only
gave him the
had-
concussion?
I don't think so.
Take back and hit him in the face.
I thought he just slammed his head with the helmet on.
No. But for T. Higgins, he only had 6 points. He had 3 catches. Ryan Finley only threw for 89 yards.
89 yards.
in that
No,
game.
thank you.
I could throw
don't
for
want a
more.
receiver.
I think the
I want a
wrestler Finley
receiver.
could have thrown for more yards.
Oh my god.
So maybe
Hornswoggle
Brandon Allen.
could've.
Brandon Allen could be back this week. So that would help a little bit. As bad as he's been, he's better quarterback option. Ryan Finley was more of his legs. He had 47 yards on 10 carries for a touchdown as well. So that just hurts this offense. Gio looked good for the first time in weeks.
Yeah,
because This
weeks.
was just a run heavy game and the Bengals actually had the lead, which is insanity.
Surprising.
To say the least. But yeah, I'm nervous about Boyd and Higgins. I would definitely consider benching them if Finley is at the helm. If Allen comes back, I'd consider it, but also monitor Tyler Boyd's injury. He's
Yeah.
in that concussion protocol. So, all right, for the Texans, we had 6, count them, 6 Houston Texans in double digits this past week against the Colts defense.
And it
Deshaun
didn't-
Watson,
Wow.
26 points. David Johnson, 23. Kiki, 14. Chad Hansen, 13. Brandon Cooks, 11. And Jordan Akins, 10. So ball was being spread, fantasy goodness galore, and now they get the Bengals. Which
And
Texans
Kiki-
do you trust the most this week?
Kiki could have had 20 plus if he didn't fumble the ball
Yeah.
for a
wow.
touchdown.
We didn't tell Sam that while we were watching the games. That's why Sam lost.
Yeah, well,
That's crazy.
Oh no.
Wow.
Kiki fumbled at the 1 yard line. Dude, that's crazy. We didn't want to tell him. I was sitting with Vince, sidebar from the podcast, but I was sitting with Vince and we were like, yo, we can't tell Sam what just happened. Kiki
That's a
fumbled. That would have
bad
been a
one.
Watson touchdown.
That would have kept the Kiki legend alive with him against the Colts.
He's still. Oh yeah.
He still had 14, which is solid. He had
Yeah.
a pretty good game, but that would have definitely boosted his Colts stats.
His
But which ones do you trust the most this week against the Bengals?
David Johnson
Kiki
for sure.
and David. Yeah.
Well, I
Watson.
still think I'm trusting Brandon Cooks. He had 11. He'll
That-
still be involved.
I was gonna say
David
Brandon
Johnson
Cooks.
caught 11. Either he caught 11 passes or had 11 targets for over 100 yards.
That
last
sounds like
week.
old David Johnson.
Right. That sounds like prime David Johnson.
That's what you
Yeah.
got to do with David Johnson. He's a good pass catcher. Get him open in space.
So,
That's
I
what
mean,
drives.
if
he had 11
if the
catches
Texans-
for 106
Oh my
yards.
God! Yeah, I just saw that.
He only
That's
ran the ball 8
ridiculous.
times. So it'll be interesting. David Johnson should be fine. He's probably going to have to run more in this game if they end up getting up against the Bengals. But yeah, definitely start Deshaun Watson, dude's a stud. And David Johnson looking pretty good. Brandon Cooks and Kiki if you're feeling daring. Even Chad Hansen if you're feeling super daring. That dude's been involved.
I'd
the
rather
past few weeks.
start Scott Hansen
Yeah.
Scott
Yeah.
Hansen.
Don't sleep on Chad.
or Chris Hansen, the catcher predator guy.
And Chad's only been playing in the last 3 weeks, but he has 15, 12, and 13. So he's been involved.
That's consistent.
Solid flex option, but it's way too risky still. I would not start
Yeah.
Chad Hansen. But anyways, let's pick this one. At the
Texans.
Texans, I think I got to take Houston.
Yeah, I'm
Easy.
taking Houston. My boy
Easy.
D Watt.
not
Ball
gonna-
out D
I'm not
Watt.
going to pick enough games different from you guys, but whatever.
Maybe this next game.
Yeah.
No.
Probably not. Colts at the Steelers. The T.Y. Hilton explosion has cooled off a bit with only 11 points this week, 4 catches for 71 yards. But is he still a good start against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense?
I don't
Oof.
think so.
I think he's still in flex
I mean,
territory.
4 catches for 71 yards isn't that bad. You had a touchdown to that. That's a pretty damn good fantasy day. So, I mean, I'm not shying away from starting him against the Steelers.
Yeah, I have him at 34 this week.
Yeah, he's
But-
been hot. I think he's a flex option. I think he's right around that 30 mark.
You got
agree.
you have one more pod this season to wear the TY jersey.
Where next week?
we
I
got a
don't think
couple.
you've worn it
I
yet.
had to wear the new one.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Had to. And he liked our picture, so.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley supporting the podcast.
We all need Calvin Ridley jerseys now.
And the podcast is supporting Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I'm about to buy a Ridley jersey myself. Nah,
Oh,
Unless he wants to gift us one.
A
sign
signed
it,
one?
please.
Gift
please.
us 4 signed jerseys.
that would be crazy. But anyways, I still think T.Y. Hilton's a good flex. This will be an interesting game. The Steelers have been struggling. They just let up 27 points to the Bengals, as we just said.
Mm-hmm.
And the pass defense has been where they've been weak. So T.Y. Hilton definitely in the flex territory still.
I agree.
For the Steelers, though, can you trust Chase Claypool or Juju to bounce back this week versus this Colts defense?
Definitely not Claypool. I don't
Nah.
think so. And
Claypool like fell off of a cliff.
Yeah, he's definitely boomer bust at this point.
and
Like,
Juju, well, I don't even want to talk about it.
I was gonna say definitely not Juju.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Juju, he's not dancing this week. He might be back.
I'm embarrassed from last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, Juju has been
He got
very
smacked.
inconsistent the past few weeks. I think both of them are risky. I still think Deontay Johnson is the safest. We called that a while ago that Deontay Johnson might be the safest.
Mm-hmm.
And
But I
Ebron,
feel like
another-
throughout the year it kind of fluctuated. I don't think it's been like Deontay Johnson ever since we said that, but
It has been.
has it?
Well,
Can we
said
talk
that-
about?
And then he
Sorry.
had 1 point in week 8. And we were like, what the heck happened? And then Deontay Johnson since then, 13, 23, 23, 12, 21, 8, 19.
Okay.
Even was benched for that Bills game and then came back and still had 8. So
They needed him.
he is solid for this team. He gets open is what he does. And his targets are just insane. The
Keep
amount
him
of
on your
targets this
radar
man
for
gets
next year.
is nuts. Yeah, I think Deontay Johnson's the safest. You guys go ahead. What were you going to say?
I just wanted to know if we could talk about the whole Ebron situation. Quick.
Keep it brief, because
Yeah,
in
Matt,
case Gators.
what's that sign behind you mean? The Monday Night Miracle.
All right, the Monday Night Miracle. Going into Monday Night Football, I was tied with Gator 119. I had nobody left. I was dead in the water, sitting duck. He had Eric Ebron. And as we all know, Eric Ebron left the game with no catches for no yards. So Sean had the great commish that Sean is, went through, added up all the yards to get the decimal points. And I beat Gator by like 1 point something. And I couldn't have been happier. That was the happiest night of my life.
It was insane. No one saw it coming. Matt sneaks into the playoffs. Absolute heartbreaker for Gator. Shout out to Gator. He was on a podcast 1 week this season. That's a tough way to lose. A lot of people had a tough way to lose. I saw somebody that was up by 0.46.
I heard about that.
Had Ebron and Juju. Juju got negative 0.5. Ebron got 0, and he lost.
That's just some 2020
And
shit.
listen, if I'm up at that point,
I'm not starting anybody.
I'm benching them. I'm not taking any chances. Nope.
That's crazy. I'd be worried about a stat correction. I probably would have just left them in there and be like, look, Juju and Ebron got to get me 1 point. Come on, man.
And look at where that got him.
Negative 0.5. That's just bad. That's a bad beat. That's a
Yeah, that
heartbreaker.
is.
Yeah, that's rough. And
I'm
people that
sorry,
start
Gator.
Steelers defense that needed a couple of points against the Bengals, and the Bengals beat them. They only got 4 points. Horrible game all around to end the season.
A lot of heartbreakers on
But
Monday.
definitely helped Matt for sure. Anyways, let's pick this one. Colts at the Steelers. Who you guys got?
Colts.
Steelers
Colts.
suck.
I
Take 'em.
called it.
Are they
want
coming
to
back?
just to be different, but I'm taking the Colts. The Steelers are so bad. They're
I
frauds.
hate the Steelers. I hate them.
It's so bad.
They're
I
frauds.
like Deontay. The rest of them they can
Yeah.
kick rocks. And James Conner.
I do like James Conner.
I don't mind James Conner.
James Conner's been booty cheeks. Benny
Yeah.
Snell was good.
Beat cancer. He's a beast.
Yeah, he's a dog.
He's an
Couldn't beat the
absolute
Bengals
monster.
though.
You're an asshole.
Yeah, that
Wow.
was messed up.
That's
Say
fucked
sorry.
up. Low
Say
blow.
sorry.
Sorry.
Choose dark joke of the week. There we go. All right, Panthers at the football team. Let's skedaddle by that one. For the Panthers, can you trust Robbie Anderson to bounce back against Washington after only 4 points last week?
It's crazy that he hasn't had a touchdown since week 1.
Week 1, he hasn't
Nuh-uh, that's
scored.
not true.
It
It's-
is.
I
We had like a
promise.
50-yard touchdown against the Vikings.
Nope.
Look it up.
In week 12, 50-yard touchdown against the Vikings. 19 fantasy points.
There's no way.
I'm so serious.
Stat correction.
I can picture it. I can picture him
Oh,
running. It
I
was a
thought you looked
slant.
at it. Oh,
They-
yeah, he did have a touchdown against the Vikings.
It was a
They
slant.
lied on
Two
Fantasy Focus.
liars.
They lied on Fantasy Focus.
Flag
We will
for the
not
Better
fall for that
Podcast.
trap.
Flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
I wish I had the TV brick. I'd throw it right in the camera.
Get
Anyways,
it.
I'd have to go find it. Matt, you can go look for it.
I
Anyways,
know exactly where it is, but I'm not getting up.
no, he was running over the middle against the Vikings, and then I think the linebacker was on him. And he just burnt them for like 50 yards up the sideline. But yeah, he
Proven
does only
schmoovin',
have
we
2
were wrong.
touchdowns. He does only have 2 touchdowns, but the yardage has been insane. And I still think you got to roll with Robbie Anderson. He's definitely carried you a little bit in your flex spot if you got him pretty late. So
Yeah. I agree.
his ADP was like wide receiver 48. So if you got him as your flex right now, keep rolling
Yeah.
out there. He's solid. For the football team, if Antonio Gibson does play this week, will McKissick be reliable again?
Mm.
I mean, he's put up numbers
Well,
with
who's-
Gibson there, and especially with Gibson coming off of a turf toe injury. I mean, I could see him being limited at least like a little bit. So I see JD getting a little increase in a workload.
You also wonder who the quarterback's going to be.
They said it's still going to be Haskins
That's crazy.
if Alex Smith can't go, which It's crazy, but I don't know who their other option would be.
I thought he was facing a 4-game suspension.
If
I
he
know they
does.
fined him $40K and removed his captain title. I don't know
Patch.
why he was a captain.
If he does get suspended, obviously that throws a wrench into things. But they did announce today that he would be the starter.
Okay.
But the only thing that makes me nervous is they could win this game and win it handily. And if they're up, McKissick does not get too involved. We've seen that a couple times now against the Cowboys where they go up and McKissick kind of fades because he's mainly a pass catcher. That would be the only thing that would scare me, but I still think McKissick is in that flex territory this week. Because I think the Panthers keep it competitive, which leads us to the pick'em. Who you guys got?
Football
Ball
team.
team.
I'm taking the Panthers.
Oh man, is McCaffrey playing?
I hate the Panthers, but I want to pick them so bad.
McCaffrey is doubtful.
All right, yeah.
I'm still taking the Panthers just because I need to be different.
You know, if McCaffrey's playing, he's good for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
I do think there's a better chance the football team wins, but I'm taking
I want
Alright.
the Panthers to win just for the Eagles' sake.
Sean, I'm with you. Sorry, Q.
bet.
Go ahead. You want them to win just because the Eagles?
Yeah, that's all I had to say.
Okay, that's it. Okay.
You want us to make the playoffs with Jalen Hurts? Are you sure? Are you sure?
Why not?
Sure.
Wentz is
Oh,
going
Q's
regardless.
changing his mind.
No, I still don't.
We'll get
I-
into the Eagles
They're
in
still all
a,
scumbags, but
in a couple games.
Why not just win?
Scumbags.
Q might go on a rant, but Broncos at the Chargers. Is Melvin Gordon must start for championship week this week?
Yes, he's gonna snap.
Yeah.
He's gonna snap.
crazy.
This man has been averaging 14 points per game the last 5 weeks. He had 24 points last week, and now he gets the Chargers. Revenge game.
Revenge game. Oh, they're always good.
Yeah. I think he played them already this season. I don't remember what he did, but
He had to have played them already.
yeah. I don't remember what he did in that first matchup. He might have missed that game. I think
No,
he did
I think
miss
he
that
played.
game. Let me check. No, he did play. He struggled. 8 carries for 26 yards, 6 catches for 21 yards, though. He's still at 10.
Not gonna be
I
the
still
same.
think it's in LA this time. Maybe it's a little different. I still like Melvin Gordon this week. He's been a lot better the past few weeks. He's been eating. So Melvin Gordon is an RB2 this week for me with RB1 upside.
I agree. Samesies.
All right. For the Chargers, before we talk about Keenan Allen, we need to publicly apologize for
So
telling people to
sorry.
start Keenan Allen last week on the podcast and on Twitter. Keenan Allen was a lot in a lot of people's lineups, and he let us
Because
down.
of us.
I low-key blame Keenan Allen himself, even though I'm repping his jersey. He looked in the camera, said he was good to go, thumbs up, happy as can be pregame, and then sits for most of the game. I guess he got hurt after that first catch for 17 yards because that's all he did. He did come back in a few times when they got close to the red zone, but he was not involved at all. So
Yeah,
our deepest
that's not-
condolences if you got knocked out for starting Keenan Allen.
So sorry.
I know a number of teams probably did. He carried a lot of teams, and he was a part of my my duo that would carry you in the playoffs. But
For our sake, I hope he replicates that performance this week so you can't blame us.
Yeah, he's just bad.
well, my next question was: are you nervous about starting him after how limited he was this past week?
No.
I'm
at least
not.
Herbert was. At least
I'd
Herbert
still
was
roll
good.
him out there as much as we regret telling you to start him last week. He's got another week of rest now by barely playing last week.
He has Cole in his stocking this year.
Yeah, I'm
For
repping
that
his
game.
jersey. Love me some Keenan Allen. I still think he can bounce back, even in a limited role, but I think he will be playing more this week. All right, let's pick this one. This one's actually interesting. Broncos at the Chargers. Who you guys got?
Chargers.
Well, I have to take the opposite. Let's go Broncos.
Go Herbert.
I don't know who to pick. I don't know who to
Herbert.
pick.
He got Tate
Denver.
Herbert. He's going to pick Denver.
And I do love Drew. Fuck. Okay,
I put
I'll go
gold
with
in
Sean.
my city.
All right, 2 Broncos. Split it.
Dude, you're going to be in second by the end of this week.
Shut up, idiots.
I think I'm in second right now.
Oh, well, then me and you were just pulling away.
Yeah, whatever.
Riding off into the
Eagles.
sunset.
Eagles at the Cowboys.
Go Birds.
Go Birds.
Let's start with the Birds. Q, do you have any words you'd like to say about Carson Wentz's situation or no?
I'm over it. Well, like I'm not over it as in like I'm now loving Hurts. I'm just like there's no reason to keep talking about it.
Yeah, it's a hurt piece for Carson Wentz and the whole situation. But anyways, Jalen Hurts is the starter now. And is he is Jalen Hurts an elite fantasy option
See, it was so hard for you to say
for the
'cause it's
championship this
no.
week?
Yes, he
Are you
is.
trusting a rookie quarterback on his third start of
In
his
your
career?
chip for all the marbles.
I would 110%.
It is against the Cowboys.
The Cowboys are awful, and Jalen Hurts had 43 points last week. In his first start, he played the Saints and had 20. I don't think Jalen Hurts is by any means a perfect NFL quarterback. He's going to make mistakes. He probably should have had a couple interceptions this past week, but Dallas,
he's
it is a
gonna run the
divisional
ball.
game. It's going to be tough, but the rushing upside gives you that solid floor. If you're in a situation where you've been starting Big Ben, Matt Ryan, even a couple other quarterbacks that have been inconsistent,
Drew Brees, maybe.
I would look to Jalen Hurts as an option for the championship to give your team that extra step. I've done it myself. I think I've started Nick Foles in the championship. I was
I remember
starting
that.
Wentz.
That's
that won.
crazy.
So you never know. Jalen Hurts, I think he's an interesting option.
I'm sorry if you're starting him in the chip, but I'm still hoping that Wentz makes his appearance in the game because Jalen Hurts is just that bad.
Yeah, when we watch the Eagles game, Q doesn't root for anyone. He roots for Jalen Hurts to
Wentz
do
to
bad
come
enough
in.
so that Wentz comes in, and then he roots for the Cowboys to do bad. So he's just going to be sitting there rooting for nothing.
I'll just get drunk so I don't know what I'm rooting for.
Root for Booby, baby.
Yeah, Booby play quarterback.
All right. Anyways, for the Cowboys side of the ball, let's not being super biased. If Zeke comes back, are you nervous about starting him with how well Pollard played last week?
I would be.
Yeah.
Plus, he's kind of
Especially
injured.
with how right. And the Eagles have a good run defense. And Zeke, his production kind of fell off. Like
He's
I
inconsistent.
don't think he would have had that
Roller
same
coaster.
production last week that Pollard did.
No, yeah. And it's crazy because like we think of Zeke as being more talented. I mean, he's got all the money to be that guy, but Pollard is like,
He's good.
yeah.
Yeah,
They-
Pollard's solid. He passed the eye test. He was actually struggling a lot in that game until he broke that 40-yard touchdown. Happened to find the end zone again, and he was super involved in the passing game because it was relatively close with the Niners. But yeah, I don't think Zeke would replicate this performance. If you're starting Zeke, it's the same way you're starting Jeff Wilson Jr. You're hoping falls face first into the end zone, or Kenyon Drake. He's in that same tier right now with like
Yeah.
low end RB2s. You need him to fall into the end zone to feel good about starting him.
Those were some good comparisons, Sean.
That's where he's at. Let's pick this one. Eagles at the Cowboys.
Go
It's a sweep.
Birds.
Go Birds.
Hey. Go Birds. It would take too long for me to finish that whole thing, but
That's okay.
you know
We get the
the
point.
rest.
Yeah,
You
we
know
got
the
it.
rest.
You know the vibes, the whoopty.
We got a
Goofy.
few games left here. Rams at the Seahawks. There's a couple really good games this week. This is definitely one of them. Divisional matchup that is always competitive. For the Rams side of the ball, with Cam Akers out, are Darrell Henderson or Malcolm Brown startable versus the Seahawks?
I have
Mm.
Malcolm Brown, or not Malcolm Brown. I have Henderson at 26 and Brown outside the top 35. I mean, if you're gonna start one, you're starting Henderson.
Yeah, I agree. When
Yeah.
Cam Akers wasn't there earlier on in the season, you saw that it was kind of Henderson's backfield. So I don't see
Sean
them.
knows.
Yeah, I know. The Steven Jackson 2.0.
Yeah, Steven Jackson, Todd Gurley had a baby, and it was Darrell Henderson.
Look, he stinks, but he's good. He's decent. They just never committed to him, and he was inconsistent. But he is pretty decent on the season. So he's averaging 4.5 yards per carry. I would definitely opt for Darrell Henderson if I had to choose one of them.
I
But
agree.
it had a top 8 quarterback, Justin Herbert.
I know, I get it. All right, don't remind me. It's
He's
why
gonna
I
give
didn't
you
make the
coal this year.
playoffs.
I hate Herbert.
Herbert actually would have screwed me anyways. But anyways, besides the point, Darrell Henderson if you're starting one of them. For
Yep.
the Seahawks, can you trust any Seahawks this week against the Rams defense?
I have Russell Wilson, the lowest I have all season at 13 or 12.
13.
12.
Listen to who had more than 10 points for the Seahawks last week.
Nobody.
Carlos Hyde, 15. Russell Wilson, 13. Jason Myers, their kicker, 10.
Matt, you know which running back to start? Carlos Hyde.
Fournette.
Actually,
Carlos
Yeah,
Hyde
Fournette-
would you-
broke that
would you-
50-yard carry or whatever it was.
Would you
Um,
guys consider starting Fournette over Chris Carson?
that's
Fournette going against the Lions?
number one defense for Chris Carson. That's that's so scary.
That is
That
super
is scary
scary.
to bench Chris Carson. I think they're still a good team, but I would definitely consider Fournette.
Yeah, I would too.
Because like Carson has to share with Carlos Hyde. Fournette is the guy.
I'm usually one that says like don't get cute for the playoffs, but like Fournette's
That's-
not really getting that cute. Like Fournette's solid. If Ronald Jones is out,
If Julio's out,
it's
start Fournette. So then it's just like you could be a little cute. I
like
guess.
even the Seahawks as a whole, like Russell Wilson since week 10 has been struggling to say the least. He has 2 games above 20 points, but 4 games with 16 or less. The Seahawks have been struggling. I still think DK Metcalf, you are definitely starting.
I'm never sitting DK ever.
Please don't. Please don't.
Ramsey
think-
Island.
I think Tyler Lockett is
Ramsey lives in the slot now.
100% benchable if you're still if you still made it to the chip despite Tyler Lockett. If you're looking for somebody else, I would not be scared
Yeah.
to bench him. He has been so hit or miss. He could blow up and could blow up in your face, but
New Doug
I'm not
Baldwin.
betting on it. Definitely not.
Lockett's
betting
going
on
to be the one on Ramsey Island, so I'm definitely way more nervous starting him over DK. But even if Ramsey was on DK, I'm not benching DK.
it. Yeah, I still think you got to roll out DK Metcalf. He's an animal. Chris Carson, you're probably starting because you don't have a better option unless you're Matt with Leonard Fournette as your other option.
Fournette.
But yeah,
Fournette.
that's what I would say about the Seahawks. They are just scary right now. Russell Wilson, you probably are starting him too. Sometimes these Rams Seahawks games just go crazy high scoring for no reason, but that Rams defensive line and the horrible Seahawks offensive line is terrifying.
That's so scary.
Very scary. So let's pick this one. Since we're talking about how interesting this game's going to be, Rams at the Seahawks. So you got
Seahawks.
Rams.
Rams.
Jared Goff gets into like these like channels where like he'll just throw turnover or throw interceptions or create turnovers. So I think this is just gonna be one of those weeks for him.
I'm taking the
Nah.
Seahawks.
Rams
He's just going to
lost-
throw it to Robert Woods.
The Rams lost to the Jets last week, but I think they bounced back.
Yeah, they are disrespected right now.
Yeah,
As they should be.
they
Right,
should
you
be.
Can't
lost to the
lose to the
Jets.
Jets.
They did with the
They
Saints
did.
preparing. I don't know if teams do it, but I swear it feels like they do. Preparing for a game that's 2 weeks away. They thought they were gonna
it definitely
steamroll the
seems like it.
Jets, and now they get the Seahawks, like a tough matchup that was coming up.
I'd be mad
I
as
don't
shit
know.
if my coach was like, this week we're not gonna try too hard.
Well, I don't think the coach does it. I think it's just like a player's mindset. Like, yeah, we're about to just poop on the Jets. They stink.
Yeah,
All
that's
right, anyways,
understandable.
Titans at the Packers. We spent a little too much on that game. The Packers have been pretty good against quarterbacks. Are you still fully confident in Ryan Tannehill this week for the championship?
He's a
Indeed, I
top 10
am.
quarterback in real life.
I'm so confident in Tannehill because defense. Sean, you said it earlier. Defenses aren't really preparing for the pass against the Titans because they have Derrick Henry to worry about. So a lot of the defenses like to stack the box, and that's when Tannehill gets to use Corey Davis and AJ Brown to just exploit that secondary. And I feel like Packers being one of the worst run defenses this year, they're definitely going to try and stack the box on Henry. So I'm very confident in Tannehill, unfortunately, because I'm going up against
Yeah,
him.
teams like assume that this is Derrick Henry's offense, but Tannehill, since he took over the Titans last year, he's been like number one. He's been better than he's not better than Mahomes, but he's put up better stats than Mahomes since that time.
Yeah, definitely very comparable. More touchdowns, less yards than Mahomes.
I did not
Yeah.
know he had 5 touchdowns last week.
He's
Yeah,
nice.
He's
Five.
had 50,
Crazy
57 touchdowns since he
last
took
week.
over.
He
He's a
carried.
beast.
He carried.
I think
KRP
ever
to
since he
in our league.
became the starter on Tennessee, he's been like the 9th ranked quarterback.
Yeah,
He's-
he's 7th this year as of right now.
John used to
And-
love him on the Dolphins.
I still like him. He's a good quarterback. He's gonna be.
Once
good
you get
again.
away from Adam Gase, man, things open up for you. Look at Robbie Anderson this year.
Adam Gase is a cancer to the NFL, to say the least. But yeah, Tannehill, fully confident, roll him out there. Green Bay, when they do play good quarterbacks, usually let up some yards, so I would not be scared. But for the Packers, there's pretty much no questions here with Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, and Tunyon. And if Aaron Jones plays, he will be fine. But he is questionable this week. So if he does miss this game, Jamal Williams missed practice entirely. Is AJ Dillon going to be a viable start, or is that too risky?
I'm sure if you were in the chip right now, you'd start Dylan because you loved him coming into the season.
Thunder thighs, man. He's a beast.
It's
Yo,
too
if-
risky for me.
Too heavy to get off
Yeah,
the bench.
no way. That's his first start in the NFL, and if that's his first start, I'm not starting him in the chip.
He did
Like,
have one
no
rush
way.
last week. You know how many yards it was
No
for?
way.
-3 yards.
18.
Yeah.
Oh,
He did have a nice run. I wasn't sure what he like.
That was his only run.
Yeah, I know. So I didn't want to say he had a nice week last week and that was his only run because it was a nice run, but I wasn't sure what more he did after that. So I wasn't gonna make myself look stupid.
I'm
Yeah,
not
very
trusting
sh-
him to win me my
in very
money.
Yeah, no
short
way.
bursts, he has been pretty decent. But yeah, I'm definitely not trusting AJ Dillon next week if Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams are out, unless I'm super desperate, because the Titans' run defense is not that great. But anyways, let's pick this one. Titans at the Packers. Who you guys got?
Titans.
Packers.
Go Pack, go.
Titans. Means you guys are on a lot.
Let's
right
Yo,
now. It's getting
we
scary.
need to run away.
Say
with it.
goodbye,
Look, Tyreek.
right.
Quez Watkins.
Bills at the Patriots. The last one here, Monday Night Football. For the Bills, pretty much we know it's the Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs show. Cole Beasley, also a flex option, but Devin Singletary scored for the first time since week 4 this past week and has been pretty decent over the past couple. Is he too risky to touch your fantasy
Yes.
championship lineup?
Yep.
I will
Yep.
never trust that man. Sorry.
Yeah, I
Would you
agree.
start Pollard? I mean, Pollard with Zeke or Singletary?
I don't know.
Ooh.
That's a weird question.
Or
Is
Zeke?
Zach
Would you
Moss
start one of them with them both playing or Singletary?
One of them. I'd probably start Zeke still.
Yeah.
I might even start Pollard. Pollard's been pretty decent with Zeke there. He's gotten some work. He's been stealing some touchdowns as a vulture. Yeah, the workload's still not there for Singletary, and even when it is, it's not pretty. So
He's just bad.
Dude,
He's just a
you-
bad football player.
you would need him to fall face first into the end zone, and he's only done that twice all year. So
Singletary or Lynn Bowden Jr.?
Who?
that's like the third running back on the Dolphins. I'm definitely
Well,
starting
he-
Singletary.
He's
Singletary or
projected-
AJ Dillon?
Yeah, but Gaskin's back. I'd probably start AJ Dillon
I think I
if-
would
if-
too.
if Aaron Jones and Jamal Williams are
Well,
out.
of course.
Yeah.
Well,
Stingy
Jamal
or
Williams is probably
Henderson?
going to be out. Henderson, not close.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. Not close.
Yeah.
You suck.
I was
Never
testing
answer
the
questions
limits.
again.
I was testing the limits.
Singletary's in that like low end flex range right now. Like
He sucks. I'm not starting him. Don't
I
start
wouldn't
him.
start him.
You'll regret it.
Yeah, don't start Devin Singletary. And for the Patriots, we said it last week. We'll say it again. Don't start any Patriots. They're
Nope,
bad.
don't do it.
They're
They
bad.
don't even
team.
have a quarterback announced for this week.
They don't have Tom Brady or Gronk anymore. Edelman is irrelevant.
Oh my God, I forgot
And
about Edelman. He
dead.
never came back.
Yeah, they
So-
are bad. Jacoby Myers had a decent game, but do not trust him. Do
Nope,
not
nope.
trust any Patriots. They're bad. Let's pick this one. I'm taking
The Bills.
The Bills.
Bills.
The pills? You're taking the pills?
No, I was pretending to take the Patriots because I've taken them I think I've taken them the last 3 weeks and they've lost every game. So I'm taking the Bills.
You learned your lesson
Taking the
there, Sonny
Bills.
boy.
You need
I was
help,
taking some
Sean?
risks. I'm just done with the
I'm
Patriots.
checking you into rehab for Christmas, Sean.
All right, let's get into our last segment here. No more reindeer games. So basically what we're doing here is pretty much the end of the season. We've seen some of these veterans been playing all season long. So no more reindeer games means a player that has officially passed his prime and that should not be drafted in most leagues next year. So pretty much no more reindeer games, no more touching your fantasy lineup. Leave them on waivers.
Yeah.
They're
We're not going to
done.
get as lucky as Rudolph and come back, I guess, as the GOAT reindeer.
Yeah, no more reindeer games. These reindeer are retired. They need to go to their retirement home.
As in the waivers.
Yes.
Yep.
The waivers or next year, don't draft them. Q, start us off.
We'll keep it short and sweet. Jimmy Graham, he did start out, he was playing like Rudolph at some point this season. Then I guess whenever that trade happened with Matt and T-Gods, he became forgotten about. And then going into next year, I think Cole Kmet will be the guy as their starting tight end, as he's had some pretty impressive games and he's younger and they drafted him to be that guy. Jimmy Graham just happened to come from the grave
For a
few
little
weeks.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they pack up Jimmy Grandpa back into his little retirement home bed and prepare for Cole Kmet next year.
I agree.
Yep. I am with you as well on that one. But for me, the player I am saying no more reindeer games for is a little bit hot because he's been spicy lately. T.Y. Hilton has been on fire the past 4 weeks, but he is my player that is officially past his prime. No more reindeer games. He is setting up the perfect trap to make you draft him next year.
Yeah.
He was awful for 12 weeks. Him and Philip Rivers could not get on the same page. And he just turned 31 last month. He's definitely lost a step. He still has some good games here and there, but T.Y. Hilton is not someone I am drafting next year and not someone that should be drafted at all. If you are drafting him, he's a late round flyer at best. I just do not think T.Y. Hilton will be good, as good as he was in the past again. His
And it's not
fantasy goodness days are over.
It's not even 12 weeks. Like, it goes into the last season that he's been just bad up until
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, he's been super inconsistent. He's only averaged 10.5 points per game. I know the last few weeks he has played out of his mind. But pretty much most of that was that one huge 8-catch, 110-yard game. And then other than that, it's been a little bit touchdown dependent here or there. But T.Y. Hilton, loved you. You were a great fantasy player. No more reindeer games.
He
for you.
broke out of the retirement home and was riding the sleigh with the main reindeer for a couple weeks, but now it's time to put him back as well. Check
Yeah,
back
T-Gods
in.
is going to disagree. He's probably going to draft T.Y. Hilton next year. But I'm just holding a grudge that I drafted T.Y. Hilton as my flex this year, and he was god-awful for 12 weeks. And I ended up having to get rid of him as soon as possible because he was a virus.
Well, it's funny that you talk about Ty because I might not draft him because his quarterback is such poopy.
Unless it's Wentz next year.
Oh, spicy.
Ooh.
Hope not.
Still not drafting T.Y.
Yeah.
Go ahead, T-Gods.
Okay, so as I was saying, T.Y. Hilton's quarterback, Philip Rivers.
11 kids.
Yeah, he's been having too many kids. Yeah, so Philip Rivers is 39 years old, so he's pushing it. He's an old man.
He ain't no Tom Brady.
He
He's
ain't
trying
no-
to play with his kids, like LeBron.
I like 12 kids.
Oh my God, what if he's doing that?
I think they're all girls.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
last year.
He definitely has a kid named
Sorry,
Gunner.
sorry.
All right, go ahead, T-Gods.
Okay, last year he ended the season as quarterback 15. This year he's quarterback 19, with just 2 games left. So he could possibly move up a spot or two, but that really doesn't matter. He's still not very much startable. Last year he had 280 fantasy points, which really isn't that good. And this year he only has, I don't think that's right. So I'm not going to say that. Yeah, I don't know. He's
like QB 19 on the season right now.
yeah,
Yeah,
QB
he's-
15 last year, 19 this year. He could move up. Probably won't. He's not a rushing quarterback. Like, he's very slow and old. But
Yeah.
you want to guess how many rushing yards he has this year?
9.
Got to be like almost negative.
It's -6.
0.
It's -6.
-6. He gets sacked. That's about all his rushing yards.
He's old.
Yeah,
He's
nope,
slowing
upside there.
down. I'm not a fan of Philip Rivers. Sean, I know you're a big fan. I'm sorry, but he's getting old. It's time to retire him from fantasy football.
I'm with you. I
And real
drafted him
life.
this year for some reason. I don't know what I was thinking. I was hoping for the Philip Rivers T.Y. Hilton connection to exist, but it took way too long to come to fruition. I think they're both setting a trap to be able to be drafted again next year. Anyways, Matt, who you got?
All right. My guy that I am not playing any more reindeer games with is AJ Green. I mean, we might as well address him as Adriel Jeremiah Green since he's the old man. But
Adriel.
I mean, dude, only 6.9 points a game this year. Only went into double digits 5 times and only has 2 touchdowns on the season. With the emergence of T. Higgins and Tyler Boyd, I don't see much room for AJ Green in this offense. Even if they ship him out of town, I don't see anywhere that he's going to go and excel like he was back in his prime. So I just think it's time for him himself to pack it up, call it a career. It's been a good one, but there
Yeah.
just ain't nothing here for you anymore.
Lost his little red nose.
Yeah, Adriel Jeremiah and Eugene Marcus Hilton. Send him down the river.
How do you get Ty from Eugene Marquise?
I have no idea.
Maybe I don't know.
Eugene
That's
is such
weird.
an old man name. It fits perfectly at this time.
You remember Eugene from Upper Darby?
Eugene Krabs.
Eugene
That's who
Lockhart.
I think of.
AJ Green is currently wide receiver 68 on the season,
Yeah,
which
he
is
is.
just
Horrible.
awful. Goodbye, AJ Green. Goodbye, TY, Jimmy Graham, Philip Rivers. It's a send off. No more reindeer games for you. If you draft him next year, I feel sorry for
Yeah.
you.
Go hang out with Mrs. Claus.
To get into the question and answers, we have one question in chat here for you guys. Vince 9000 asked Jarvis versus the Jets or Justin Jefferson versus the Saints at flex.
That's
Jarv.
It's super interesting. You get Justin Jefferson's boomer bust, but I think I'm taking Jarv right now.
That's
Yeah, I
not
think
fair.
I
That's
got-
biased.
I got to go with the safe play and go Jarv.
I'm not. I'm getting cute. I like Justin Jefferson a lot. I'm starting him.
Yeah,
I
have
do like him,
Jefferson.
but I don't know. Jarv against the Jets.
Jarvis wide receiver 9 over the past 4 weeks.
Mm-mm.
He's back. He gets the Jets.
You
He's
can't
scoring a
disagree
touchdown.
with it.
Uh-uh.
Jarvis Landry's career best game is against the Jets too. I'm pretty sure. I think he had like 31 fantasy points. So
Nice game.
it's a good game. I think Jarvis Landry is the one I would start. He's definitely the safer pick. If you're playing someone where they have a really solid flex, like they found, like their team is just a little bit better, they're projected more, then maybe I'd think Justin Jefferson upside. But I think Jarvis Landry is going to be solid. It's a close one though.
Mm-mm.
It's a good problem to have. I like
Mm-mm.
both of them. I think
Yeah,
they're
it
both
is.
top 15 plays this week. All right. That's a wrap, Q. Hit us with your joke of the week for the championship week.
No
you got?
joke. No joke this week. I have
You hit us
keeping the
with the dark
Christmas.
joke earlier.
That was not a joke. That like he didn't beat the Bengals. They didn't beat the Bengals.
After he gets,
No, he's a great man, just not a good
He's a
football player
fighter.
right now.
I know we're just messing with you, Q. Go ahead.
So the question, to keep it in the Christmas theme, what do you? I don't know if you guys remember, but what was your best present you've ever gotten by your parents for Christmas? Something that like you just don't forget. Like I'll go first because I've thought about this many times. Like I got Guitar Hero 3 for like the Wii. May have been the best present I've ever received.
Best present I
Yeah.
ever got.
Q, I think I'm
Oh.
with you.
My
Oh, yeah.
parents came home one Christmas with the dog.
That might be the best present
That's a good
anyone
present.
could ever get.
That
A great
was
present.
Did it
I
come in a
love-
box
No. If you put a dog in a box, you're cruel.
with some holes, like a cage?
Oh yeah, actually they did that. They did do that.
I think the Wii might have to be
Yeah.
my favorite present.
The
Opening
Wii.
the Wii, knowing I was about to play some Mario Kart, bro. That's next level.
Some Wii Sports.
Wii Sports was elite as a young bull. Elite.
T-Gods?
I'm thinking. I just the only like crazy thing I could think of is like this. I was a young boss, so hype. I got this real nice mongoose, and I was super
Oh,
hyped
that's
about
second
it.
was a
Fire.
bike. My
That's
second
fire.
was gonna be a bike, but then the
Bikes were
bike
always
got
the best.
stolen, so it just brings back bad memories.
Let's
Oh
go.
yeah, that's rough. Actually,
Someone
best
else
one
could-
this year has to be this Keenan Allen jersey. Shout
Yeah.
out Gator.
Yo, bed set, Richie, you the man.
I feel bad
Fulfilled
for
my
Richie.
lifelong dream.
Richie got a stuffed Donkey Kong and a $50
yeah.
PSN card. That was the worst.
Jesus.
That's
When he
so
plays
bad.
on PC.
And he
Yeah.
doesn't even play PS4
Yeah,
or
Dave
5.
goes- Dave goes back to worst gifter.
Worst gifter.
Idiot.
All right. Anyways, that's a wrap. We will be back next week, even though it's week 17 and irrelevant football. We will not be breaking down the matchups. If you play
Yo.
week 17 in your fantasy league,
You're a wild man.
Yeah, that
It's
is
4-1.
wild.
you're wild for sure. I would definitely recommend change that next year if you do have that incorporated, because
A lot of
That's
players
wild.
sit out if they clinch, so
yeah, Chiefs are probably going to be sitting out. That's
Clinch
that's
you're gonna
already
be
a
you're gonna
lot.
be scrambling.
You're going to be scrambling for random players. So I would definitely not do that. But we'll be live next week for our end of season award show. So we will go back to our preseason award show, see what predictions we made, what we got right, what we got wrong, and also give out the awards for each of those as well.
One more question that was brought up the last holiday podcast: turkey or ham this year?
Ham.
And
For
Christmas.
Christmas, it's
Yes.
ham.
It's
all
ham.
day.
Obviously, it's ham for Christmas. But if I had
The
to
only
pick one,
argument is
Dang.
Well, it's not I mean, I thought it was obvious turkey for Thanksgiving, but I guess
Put
that's not.
both of them on a roll with some
Yeah.
gravy. That shit.
Or you got to spread the mashed potatoes on it.
Oh yeah, for sure. And stuffing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yo,
You got to
oh,
put the
be
mashed
making
potatoes
some
first, and then the
concoction.
stuffing, because the stuffing like it sticks to the mashed potatoes.
Oh,
Yeah.
For super cooking bros in the
yeah,
summer.
the super cooking
Yo.
bros. We'll have some recipes out. No, we
Yeah.
definitely will not.
leftover recipes.
But definitely end of season award show. So come hang out next week. We will also still be on all of our social medias, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, keeping up with it. So if you have any questions.
Sean caught it. I thought
No!
Matt was going to catch it.
No!
Matt was oblivious. I was ready for it.
Yo, I was looking like AJ Green out there. I didn't know what the hell was going on.
Yeah, Adriel Jeremiah and Eugene Marquise. But anyways, definitely, if you have any questions for your championship matchup, hit us up. We'll give you the best advice that we can. We will tell you to start Keenan Allen again, though. And if he messes up again, well, that's on Keenan Allen at that point. He's a good wide
It
receiver.
is.
We just need him to bounce back, and I think he'll bounce back. But anyways, besides the point.
I wish you
Merry
guys the best of
Christmas.
luck in your championship, and hopefully the next time I see you, I myself will be a champion.
Merry Christmas,
Oh.
Happy Holidays, and Merry Chip Week. That's a wrap.
Yeah.
Peace out.